Good evening, people. Welcome back to the grumpy old git in the corner on a Wednesday night. You'll notice the lack of Mrs. W in the background there. She's actually upstairs for a little bit. She's got some bits and pieces to finish off. I believe she's will be listening up there. That's right. I'm just checking out the lag between StreamYard and YouTube. It's yeah, there's a few secs. But how are we all this evening? 1 week to go. You're having issues. Yeah. Why doesn't that surprise me? What was that? The bar not coming up again? Oh, we got 11 watching. Nobody's saying good evening. You were frozen. Oh, okay. Good evening, Marines. Who else we got in here then? 13 in here. Is that us 3 and 10 lurkers? Yeah, there's going to be some changes on that after New Year. We'll talk about that in a bit when a few more people have dropped in. Missy, good evening. Oh, I got the full outfit tonight, Missy. There you go. The bottom of it is full of Christmas spirit, but hey, as you know, I don't drink. I've had that one for quite a few years now. I've got another one up there somewhere, but it's not a very Christmassy one. Can't remember what's on it now. Oh, Christmas Joy loading, that's it. RJ, Merry Christmas, mate. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good one, buddy, if you're just popping in. Or as good as you can under the circumstances this year. Let's see, old Comrade Starmer gave some of the pensioners his Christmas present, didn't he? What a contemptible bastard he is. Now, I do apologise to those that wanted to go back and watch the stream last week. Completely out of my control. It would seem that somebody had reported medical misinformation. Good evening, Stuart. And YouTube are having fucking none of it. Despite the fact that I pointed out to them that the piece they showed me was nothing I haven't said before. It is acceptable. The NHS have said it all along. That's how certain things work. But so tonight, for the sake of them dickheads and the faceless cowards, we'll be leaving anything medical behind. Good evening, Stitch. How are you doing, sweetheart? We're getting upwards of 30 in now. So, right. Well, first things first. One or two of you know that I've spoken to in person. There's going to be some changes on the live streams next year. Good evening, Gary. Gary, have you got an extra bit to that name that you use at times? I have a reason to ask. No, you don't. Okay. Right, there's somebody imitating you in the comments, Gary, on the videos. Just thought you ought to know that. Very similar logo, but there's another extra name at the end of the name. Now, I've just looked at your profile and it isn't on there. So, is it Frink? No, it isn't, mate. And this is where it's going to get confusing with what I'm about to say. JW, good evening. Karen, good evening. Now, as I was saying, next year there's going to be some changes on the live streams. They will be made private. No, I'll go back and delete it. Because of the huge amount of subscribers that we've got now on this channel. Many of which, or most of which I might add, don't watch the videos, don't take part in the comments or anything like that. I'm going to be making the live streams private. So all you lurkers that are in the background there, that like to screenshot things and like that, you can fuck right off because you won't be able to. Good evening, Tony. I will be in touch with you all. So I've got a point of contact so that I can send links to you. But unfortunately, it's something I've got to do to protect the channel. If I lose subscribers for it, fucking tough. If I lose viewings through it, again, fucking tough. I don't give a shit. You know, we've had a real good time in these streams without anybody fucking it up. And that's all it takes is one idiot. Right, let me go back to this. Yeah, exactly, Karen. Yeah, they did, Stuart. Yeah, Nikki. Oh, that's something else I was going to say. I know there are people in the background there that just lurk. They don't want to be too much involved. You all, those of you that I know about, yourself, there is a few others as well. You will be sent the links. So you can still lurk around in the background. It's the non-friendly ones that I want to get rid of. You know, and that is one of the only ways we can do it, unfortunately. Where are we? I'm trying to... that one there, Gary, is the one. Flanco Chess. If that's not you, then he's gone. Yeah, I won't have anybody imitating anybody in this channel. You know I run a tight ship, zero tolerance. No, you've always been all right with me, Nikki. You know, I will admit we've had different opinions on things now and again. It's the same account, is it, mate? Okay, cheers, Kerry. But yeah, we've never fallen out, Nikki. We as I said, we can all have our opinions. You give yours respectively, I should say. And that's good enough for me. But yeah, the friendly lurkers. Oh, fucking chest! That thing is killing me. the friendly lurkers, as it were, you will be just as welcome, and you will be getting the link. Matrix, good evening, buddy. Thank you for dropping in, but a Merry Christmas to you if I don't see you in the meantime. Yeah, idiots, RJ, ain't a problem. It's the vicious little bastards that like to do screenshots and record things. Not so much going on YouTube with it, but there are one or two that like to play the twat on Facebook, and they're probably on other platforms as well, but I don't go on any other platforms. So, although I have got a BitChute account, I have got a Rumble account. I don't use them as a rule. You don't know what I'm keeping under my hat, Gary. Nobody knows what's under there. There is a bit of grey matter, believe it or not. Jenny, good evening. Yeah, we've got to, RJ. Especially now as Ofcom have initiated the new online safety shit. It's designed to keep the kiddies safe and the women safe. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. But we know platforms like YouTube, Facebook, that they just can't help themselves when they get given that little bit of extra power. You know, they go drunk with it. And they feel they can fucking do anything. Oh, by the way, good evening, YouTube. If you're watching. Obviously, I can't stop you fuckers getting in. I wish I could. But yeah, I mean, as you know, I've always been happy with my small number of subs. But by posting a clip just for the people to have a bit of a laugh at, all of a sudden it went fucking crazy. Well, that's the other thing, Stuart. I don't see what anybody says or put on other streams because I don't go on them. I might watch the likes of Jeff Taylor, but then I'll just have it on more or less audio only. But people like 2C and the drama streams and what have you, I don't bother with. Yeah, he's fine, RJ. He's still looking after mum and dad. He's absolutely got his hands full there. So he doesn't have time to get online. He hasn't got Wi-Fi there either. He's active a bit on Facebook, but that's about it at the moment. I still keep in touch with him regular. Holly speaks to him probably almost daily. But they've always been close friends. But he's fine. He's fine. He's still posting perverted posts on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, we used to run Sunday around the live stream, Stuart. We'd always make sure tea was finished before 8 o'clock. And yeah, you can do, RJ, but he still gets loads and loads of messages, and he doesn't get a lot of time to read them at the minute, mate. But yeah, by all means, when I do speak to him, I will pass on your best wishes, obviously, same as I do for anybody that gets in touch with me to try and get in touch with Dan. As I say, he's got enough on his plate without worrying about who's trying to contact him. I mean, I only get in touch with him when he wants to get in touch with me. So, you know, I leave him to get on with his life a bit more. He doesn't need the distractions. But yes, sure, I don't know if I could last one of the full streams now. I mean, bloody hell, you know, I can remember sitting there till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And the way my medical is now, I very much doubt as if I'd last. Yes, Gary, I certainly will, mate. Yeah, that's the best way, RJ. Yeah, they were. We used to have a right laugh. I mean, yeah, we used to attract some fucking idiots, but Dan usually dealt with them in his unique way, shall I say. He's got a lot more patience with people than I have. But yeah, it would be good to see him. I may. I don't know how long I'm going to keep going tonight. Actually, I'll probably keep going for at least a couple of hours. Tuesday night, Christmas Eve. I may pop up for half an hour, just to wish everybody Merry Christmas. But that'll be it until the new year then. You and Dan affected me. I think those live streams had effects on an awful lot of people, to be honest, Gary. Not always for the good, but you know, it gave people a point of contact. You know, those that don't get out, don't talk to anybody else. It gave them a way to just basically chat with people. You know, he always had a big panel. Some weeks I don't open up a panel. You know, it's I don't mind doing a panel, but when I've got someone on a panel, I've got a tendency to concentrate on that person on there rather than everybody in the chat. Yeah, it was, Gary. It was like a big family, extended family. And it was nice, the fact that we were able to meet some of them in person. All right, and RJ, you take care, bud. Look after yourself. Stay safe out there. Yeah. It used to give everybody a voice, as you say, Stuart, but some of them used to abuse that. And yeah, then they used to get kicked off. The Rev was the same, and that's why I don't bother with his streams anymore. He just gets too many fucking idiots in there, and a lot of them I don't like to start with. And any streams that has the people in that I don't like, I've never got on with, or have done me wrong, I don't go on those streams. Simple as. I'm not going to go in them just to cause friction and shit. You know, that's why I come away from them all, because I can't be doing with the drama. On my way down to you. No, I'm fine, babe. Thank you. I got the one that makes me bad, and then I've got the one that cures me for being bad, and I've got the other one that helps me be bad. And then I've got me drink. Actually, you could bring me in another one of them if you want. This one's nearly empty. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be after Christmas. So. Yeah, I get recommended the streams from 2-3 years ago, Stitch. They keep popping up in my feed. Yeah, I know, Gary, but it hasn't got the sugar in it, and what have you. I have got to start drinking more orange, and I can't drink just normal water. I just don't like it. But yeah, the government shitting all over the waspy girls, not paying them. Well, and that, that's just another promise that he's gone back on. He promised he would pay it if he got in power. He probably got their votes, and then he's fucked them off like he's done everybody else. But from what I'm hearing now and what I'm seeing out there, he is fucking off as many of the Labour bods as he is everybody else. That's all right, Gary. No need to apologise, mate. Basically, all the other ones. The only ones I used to go on was Dan's after things all went in tits up. So I stopped going on any of them. Well, that's the thing, Stuart. I don't drink. Heather's already got most of her alcohol that's needed for herself and the family in. Trying to get it all done early rather than a mad rush next week. Yeah, Gary, you're one of the regulars, so I'll repeat what I was saying earlier. Next year, all the live streams are going to be private. It will be invite only. So I thought Dan Pappas. No, he does intend to come back, but at the moment, and he has been for quite a few months now, he's been concentrating on looking after mum and dad. They're both not very well. So he's had to go and do that, and he's got no Wi-Fi at their place. And he can't be running around the country just to do a live stream. So, but he will be back. Believe me, he will be back. But yeah, Gary, if you can get in touch through DMs, PMs, Facebook, email, whatever. Because when I do live streams from now on, it's only those that has got a link that will be able to get in and watch and participate. Simply because one of the live streams got taken down for alleged medical misinformation, which it wasn't. So to my mind, that was somebody had just reported it, one of the lurkers in the background. So the only way out of that is eliminate the lurkers, bar the good ones, of course.
I was going to say some of your favourite people are lurkers.
Yeah. Oh, they'll all know.
Oh, I know. You'll let them know.
Yeah.
I was just reiterating the fact.
They will all know. But yeah, that I couldn't believe the way that fucking Python's video blew up. I mean, I've put 2 more up since. They haven't gone anywhere near that. So I don't think it's people have subbed just for those for some reason. I do believe that there are more views than what YouTube show us on the channel, on the regular videos, simply because between the analytics and the channel, there is very big discrepancies in the numbers. So if they're shadow banning, yeah, the viewings are going elsewhere. People are probably even commenting, and what they do is the comments will show their end, the views will show their end, but it won't show on the channel and it won't show my end. It's just a faceless coward's way of fucking people about. Since I got suspended, the second time, I've been towing the line with what I say. And no warnings, no nothing. The usual copyright shit that they put copyright in the warning, and then there's a banner that comes up this clip isn't copyrighted. It's allowed to be on YouTube by the owner. So they can't even fucking get that right, you know. It's just YouTube get their little pink panties in a wad and away they go. You know, they're like little fucking robots. I mean, every video I post now, you can tell by how long the checks take. When it's just the bots that do it and the AI, it used to take about 2 minutes. It used to fly through because the algorithm picks up certain words, spoken or typed. But now the checks quite often, more than not, take longer than the actual video itself. So things are being picked up. They're stopping the video, getting someone else to come and look at it, okay it. But as I say, for 3 years, I've never had an issue on any of the videos. That's why I use notes to make sure that I don't get out of order. I believe it. Believe it's going quite well, Gary. Some questions on there for you, baby.
Yeah. The job is it's what it is. It's a job. It's a very small company, so there's only a few of us in the office. I'm sat with a young lad who's just done a degree in politics, so I'm having great fun chatting with him about the state of the world that we're in. I'm getting over the cold, thanks, Jet. As you can hear in the voice, it's still there, and you will hear me coughing in a minute. It'll happen. It will. But still getting headaches and things. So, but I've said I'll do a live on Friday before Christmas. So, it may only be half an hour, but I will come on Friday and wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Well, if you want to use your big computer, I'm going to do an hour or so on Tuesday night, Christmas Eve. If you want to do a joint one, if you're feeling a bit better by then, unless you want to do one Friday, it's entirely up to you. But I intended to do one Christmas Eve for an hour anyway, just to wish everybody happy Christmas.
What's wrong with your mic? I can't be heard.
Sorry, Heather, your mic is too. She's actually working on this one up here, Gary, on mine. But she's speaking a little bit quieter than she normally does. It normally picks it up over there, okay.
Well, stay tuned. It might be Friday, it might be, but it makes no difference because I've got to work both days. I've got to work Christmas Eve. I never work Christmas Eve.
Yeah, there's a lot of this bug going around, Jen. The family came round for dinner Sunday. We said, well, look, both of us have got a bit of this lurgy. And to be told, well, it don't really matter because they've all got it anyway. So
I couldn't get out of cooking. They came round because because my daughter didn't want to cook.
All right, let me just check out that microphone, make sure the levels haven't been fucked around with. There you go. Yeah, the levels had been dropped right down by StreamYard. So that might be a bit better. But anyway, how the hell are you lot doing out there? What's this lump on here? Bit of plastic round me bobble. Gordo! Good evening, mate. So is anybody going away for Christmas?
Me, I'm leaving you to it.
Oh, thank God for that.
You're cooking Christmas dinner.
Both sounded loud and clear before. Cheers, Gary. I was going to say, as I said in, was it today's video? If you are going away, then just make sure it's not an hotel that has been housing the paddlers. And a lot of them have rebranded, renamed themselves, hoping to get the public back on side. No. Nice one, Gordo. Nice one. My mate's going to Amsterdam and Germany. Well, I've actually got a mate who lives over in Germany, Gary. He's an ex-squaddy. He lives on a barge over there, believe it or not. I chat to him on Facebook. He has popped over once or twice, but he hasn't had time to come and see me yet. But he's one of these that's enjoying his retirement and does a bit of travelling. The only reason I'd have gone to Amsterdam, well, the obvious reason, it's a bit pointless now as I don't do it. So, yeah, we've got them all here, Jen, including the dog. It'd be the first year we've had the big dog here for the day.
It's the first year she's had the big dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I have been over to Germany, Gary. Well, I've been in quite a few places on the continent. We did a little bit of touring on a motorcycle one year over there. Yeah, it's when the bed squeaks, isn't it, Gordo? You got to bounce up and down to try and get the trousers up and get your legs in. Good evening, Bailey. Whose mate voted for Starmer? Who you on about? Who you on about? Have I missed something here? Flavoured bomb. Yeah, I can remember having beans and toast and what have you for Christmas dinner one year.
Gary, you're not doing Christmas dinner so that he's ready for her when she comes home.
Yeah, everybody's got different things they do over Christmas. The one in Amsterdam is a lefty. Who is? Who you on about, Bailey? I don't understand your comments there. I certainly tell you my mate over there is not a lefty, that's for sure.
Is he as right wing as we are?
I spent many years with him in the motorcycle club, and believe me, he's not a lefty. Yeah, the weirdest one I've come across, well, the most arrogant as well, I suppose, is the Italians. They don't have a Christmas day. They have Italian Day. They don't call it Christmas. So, yeah. Again, there's other countries, other religions that don't celebrate Christmas at all. So just to make sure I offend everybody, Happy Christmas. You can't get into trouble for saying that. Yeah, there's one or two countries that are like that, Stuart. You know, they'll have their Christmas meal on Christmas Eve, and I mean the old traditional one here used to be your Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, and the cold turkey with the boiled spuds and pickles and mashed potato and everything on Boxing Day to make sure everything got used up. But, I spent a few Christmas days in the past when I was single, and to be honest, I used to just get some bait out of the freezer. I used to go and sit on the rocks and go fishing for the day. Yeah, that's the way I've always done it, Stuart. Yeah, I've always said that, Gary. It's Christmas for me now is all about the kids. You know, and it's nice to see all the family together, but it's for the kids more than anything.
Oh yeah, and me.
Oh, and you.
And me. I need presents.
You know, I'm one of these that if I get anything given me at Christmas, I prefer it to be something that I need, not something that I want. You know.
Then you tell everybody you don't need anything, so it has to be something we think you might want.
Well, yeah, there is that, I suppose. Well, the thing is, Gary, I mean, it's going to get to the point where people won't be able to afford to have a Christmas if it carries on the way it is. You know, if something's not done very soon, we've got 5 years of this shit to carry on through. And as I said in the video the other day, there is every likelihood with the way everything's dropping away from Labour now, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see the arsehole try and put something in place to cancel general elections or come up with some bullshit excuse for cancelling general elections. Good evening, Scar. But again, that's another thing that he's lied over. Oh, I'm going to do away with the House of Lords. We don't need the House of Lords. Well, if that's right, then how come he's just appointed another 30 Labour fucking peers to go and sit in there? You know?
Because they're doing bullshit. Bullshit.
Get it up, Gil. Get it up.
I've been coughing that much, my ribs hurt. Roger doesn't even know what he's got me yet. I haven't told him.
No, she hasn't bought it yet.
I have.
Have you? This is how we do Christmas. Well, the thing is, Missy, the other parties can't do a thing. Basically, Labour, his own party, can pull him down. Charlie could pull him down, but it would cause Charlie more grief than it's worth. Because as I read it, good evening, James. Yeah, there's no problem with that, mate. If Charlie actually pulls the government down and dissolves it, I kind of remember reading somewhere that he actually has to run the government himself.
Too busy.
And
so I think what Missy was meaning was if he was trying to stop there being any future elections or general or local or whatever, would it not have to go to the vote and therefore everybody else will
not
go?
necessarily.
And that's what I'm saying.
Dictators don't put things to the vote.
Well, how would he get it through?
He'd force it through. We're going fucking nowhere, and you lot ain't having an election. Simple as.
I thought it was only Trump did that.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, exactly, JW. He is on a complete power trip. He's alienated himself from America, so that special relationship that he keeps on about, that's out the fucking window. He's been getting up the arse of most of the companies around the EU. It seems that most of the countries around the EU now are going to the right with their elections and what have you. So he's fucked there. And this is what I said about the trade. With what he's done in this country and what he's continuing to do, we will not be able to provide anything for ourselves. From electric to fucking power, we're going to be reliant on trade in Europe. And if they don't want to deal with us, we're monumentally fucked. I mean, at the moment, the biggest one that we've got that we trade with for, believe it or not, dairy and beef is Australia. We do more trade with Australia over that than anybody else. He's going to have his hands full doing that, Flanco, because, yeah, they're pushing it. But there's a lot of countries in the EU that don't want us back in. You know, von der Leyen would love us back in, but they're realising now there's no profit in having us back in because we haven't got the money they want. And that's the only reason they want us in there. We won't have the trade that they want. We've got nothing that they fucking want. I've got a different name to call him, Gary, but it's a name I don't use. I don't like saying it on YouTube. Plenty do, but it's a word I don't use. You know, unless I'm beating the shit out of someone, I'll use it occasionally then.
Is it a word used in a song?
No. Yeah, I mean, he wants to continue trading with China. He's going the wrong way about it with what he's doing, isn't he? Can't trade with Russia anymore, although we are indirectly. Yeah, he's an absolute knobhead, Flanco. Yes, Gary. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Yeah, that's the word. It's a word I've never liked. Hello. Fucking camera's frozen. Oh, I suppose we'll have to go back to the other one. Well, that fucker ain't working now. What is that? Oh, there we go. Don't know why that one keeps fucking up like that. Yet last week, it was absolutely fine. It lasted the whole stream. It just seems very strange. But yeah, he's just alienating us from other countries. But, you know, like I said in today's video, make him unwelcome. If he's in public, tell him what you think of him. You know, if there's businesses that have him in to do his little PR stunts and filming, boycott those businesses. Anywhere that he goes in, boycott those businesses if they let him in. You know, make him feel unwelcome, because that's how he makes us feel in our own country. Well, the thing is, Scarge, we've never stopped paying them. I know that the UK has still been giving the EU a lot of money. Yeah, he tells us that we can't have cows because they fart. Yet he's flying all around the world every fucking day. I'd love to see him in one, Gary. I would kill myself and knock myself out just to go and travel and go in and take one swing. Yeah, exactly, Gary. That's the life cycle in this country. You're born, you pay taxes, you die. And he was coming out with the bullshit that he wants to do this for the school kids, do that for schools, why actively killing schools and closing them down. You know, he's basically forcing private schools, which is where, I'll admit it, a lot of the more educated people come from. Not always. You know, most of the problem isn't caused by a village idiot. It's caused by an educated person.
I can't see they're an idiot.
Yeah. Yes, they do, Jen. You'll pay tax in your coffin. Pay tax on your fucking coffin. And that's one of the reasons I said for me it's cheap and cheerful cremation. I get thrown in the sea. There's no way anybody's going to pay tax on a bit of land that I'm buried in. They can go to fuck.
I'm booking it in with Donna next week.
MI5 agent in the chat. Well, I haven't seen him in the chat for a while, Gary. I wouldn't say there's MI5 in the chat. I know YouTube's in there and watching and listening. Yeah, but then whoever plants you under a tree, Missy, they'll probably get done for littering. And I didn't realise until the other day that you can actually be buried in your own back garden. There is a few stipulations on it. But
you've got to own it. You can't do it if
you can't do it if you're a council house. You freak the next resident out. Plant some flowers and fucking skull box up. But yeah, I thought they'd made that illegal, but apparently it's not. You've got to go through. I'm not quite sure what they are, but there are certain regulations you've got to stick to. But yeah, I was quite surprised to find that out.
Yeah, you've got to make sure it's above the water table. You've got to own the land. It's got to be 6 foot deep. The usual.
Yeah.
The usual shit.
Yeah, I would love a Viking funeral, Karen. I would love it. But
they don't do those.
It's classed as a burial at sea.
Well, no, they do, but not round here, and they're bloody expensive.
If you'd let me fucking finish.
Sorry.
I said it's classed as a burial at sea. There is only 3 places around the coast, I believe, 3 or 4, where you can be legally buried at sea. The cost is absolutely extortionate, and you've got to have a certain type of coffin as well. Obviously, one that fucking sinks. But yes, it is very, very expensive, and there are very limited places each year that can do it.
I think if you want a Viking burial and be set on fire, you've got to go somewhere like Norway.
I don't even know if they're allowed to do it over there because they got clean things in the fjords.
I think there are certain places you can go and have it done. But it's fuck off expensive, so I'm not.
Flag. What you want there, Gary? Is it buffering your end or something? Yeah, there are burial sites that do that, Stitch and Missy. They got a big problem with the local park up here, Sutton Park. A lot of people, their wishes was to have their ashes scattered up the park. Now, because when you're cremated, it doesn't all turn to ash. There are still bits of bone and stuff like that. And they were moaning that too many people are doing it. So they've asked people to stop. They were on about passing a bylaw over it. Whether they actually have or not, I don't know. But a cremation is not what you'd think. It's not a complete cremation. And it does take an awful lot of heat. You're getting buffering, are you, Gary? Okay, mate. It's all right this end. There's nothing I can do about it, buddy.
You can get a Viking burial in America. There you go.
There you go. You can get a Viking burial in America. No, I was going to say the streams are here, all right, Gordo. Oh, in some areas, especially those that have got overland cables and what have you, the Wi-Fi has been a bit dodgy since the storm. But we were lucky here. I mean, we've got a hell of a reach of cable going from the front of the house to the nearest post. I mean, it is very nearly 50 yards run, and I thought the wind might take it down, but it survived. Is anybody else getting buffering?
Oh, all right. Jack.
You're right. I'm going to Viking burial my rope.
Taking it to America. Who's you got it, a passport?
Well, I'll tell you what, Gary, I had a bit of an issue with one of my old laptops. It was a horrible thing. It wouldn't do what it was fucking told. And we took it up the local air rifle range and shot the fuck out of it. And believe me, it took some doing. It was quite a tough thing, but it did die a horrible death.
Yes, I've seen those pods, Stitch. They literally pop you in a pod with a sapling over the top, so you become part of the tree.
Put in a wooden coffin and buried upright. Well, I said that about my mother when her funeral was along. They said, you know, what sort of a funeral she can have? I said, well, she said she's going to claw her way out of the grave and come and haunt me. I said, fine, bury the bitch face down. Let her keep fucking digging. I take it you've got bad signals there then, Gary. Oh, there. What's it doing now, Gary? But no, I've always said I don't want a funeral. Just send me off to the creme, get cooked, and
We're just having a big piss up.
oh, you do what you fucking like once I'm gone. It ain't going to bother me, is it? But I have got quite a substantial list of people to come back and haunt if you can do that.
For somebody who doesn't believe in ghosts, threatening to come back and haunt people is sort of what's the word? Ironic?
From classified military operation. He keeps getting junk mail for us. We get family discount. Gary, Heather's daughter's a funeral director. That's it, Gary. I've always. Good evening, God bless. I'm always a believer that once you die, the old Viking way and the Viking saying that the body is nothing but an empty vessel. When you're dead, your body is just an empty container. How you doing, Simon? Yeah, I mean, it takes up less space as well, doesn't it, Gordo? I mean, I always say that the other reason I didn't want a burial is I don't want people standing there, crying false tears over a patch of fucking ground. Once I'm gone, I'm gone. Get on with your rest of your life, Move
Who's
on.
Who's going to cry?
Oh, there's always somebody. Yeah, cool. No, what is that? Oh, dear. God, I'm full of aches and pains. Surviving 2 Christmases a chore, let alone surviving the actual event. Just want to be burnt in a car. Do you know what, Stuart? The cardboard coffins are more expensive than the fucking wooden ones.
Fact.
That is absolute fact.
Because my mother said the same thing, just get a cardboard box.
Grumpy Sapper, good evening, mate. Right, now there's a few more in that weren't in earlier. I'll repeat what I said earlier quickly. Next year, guys, the live streams are going to be private. So all you regulars and people I know, I will need some form of contact away from YouTube to get links to you when I do live streams. God bless people like that, or anybody that I'm friends with on Facebook, that they will know anyway. So you'll get DMs. I know 1 or 2 people that don't do any other platforms, and I'm collecting their email addresses so I can email the links to them. So,
but we can send the link out on Discord if you want to go that way, or Facebook, or email. Yes,
God bless. I don't know whether you noticed, but somebody reported something in last week's stream. YouTube classed it as misinformation, medical misinformation, which it wasn't. But in their inevitable fashion, they removed the stream and fucking refused to put it back up, and gave me an official warning for it. So I've got to behave myself now until I think it's the 25th of March to make that that warning go away. But they're going to be, as I said, the new online safety thing is now live through Ofcom. So, you know, they're going to go giddy with power again on the censorship, no matter what it is. As I said, it's supposed to be to keep women and kids safe, but they'll be used for other things. And as someone pointed out earlier on, they got reported to Ofcom for something. And the BBC in the last year have had over 2,000 complaints go into Ofcom about stuff on their TV channels and websites and shit. They ain't done a fucking thing. But of course they won't, because the BBC is the government mouthpiece, isn't it? You know? Happy shopper funeral. You get shrink wrapped in one of their bags. You know, 2 bin bags, shrink wrapped in the ground. But I'd rather be fish food than worm food. You know, we came from the sea. I want to go back to it. Although knowing Heather, it'll probably be the nearest you can get to the River Severn. Throw me in and find your own fucking way there, you know.
It'll only be the River Severn if Holly's helping.
I have a year left on my death clock. Yeah, she did say that, God bless, that she'd just chuck me in the nearest brook or puddle. Yeah, they would, Gary.
Well, there is one halfway down the road. It'll get to the sea eventually.
I'd put some inflatable life jackets in my pockets before I get cooked. That might screw a few people up.
I thought you were going with pockets full of flares.
A pocket full of weed and a pocket full of popcorn. Frighten the fuck out of the guys in the crematorium. A few fireworks. So about the only time you're only likely to see me naked, Gordo. Yeah, I'll show you a tit. Look. There you go. That's about as far as it gets. How much is that worth on OnlyFans? I don't think anybody... Oh, what the fuck's that still doing open? No wonder I can't get anything through it. That's better. I still had the top open on my vape. 50p a bag. Yeah, it's cheaper than $1,000 for a coffin, isn't it? Go around, dig them all up, get all the brass handles off, weigh them in.
Most of them are plastic.
I'll give them a shock. I want the lid screwed down from the inside.
Well, you can do it yourself then.
If I'd had a proper service, I'd want to do a fake one so I can hear what people are saying, like, you know.
I'll do a recording and pop it in the coffin for you to listen to later.
Oh, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Music coming from the coffin.
Anybody got a Walkman they don't want anymore?
It needs to be a remote controlled one, though, doesn't it?
No, you just have a blank tape for so long and then...
Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, I've actually had a notification today. I had a phone call I've got my PIP assessment on the 2nd of January. So hopefully that'll make things a bit easier.
I mean, I've now got a job, I can retire.
Yeah, you'd be so lucky. You got to realise within the next couple of years, they're probably going to make it illegal to retire. All right, Jen. Yeah, I know you've been bad. I've been following you on Facebook. So, yeah, if Heather doesn't do one Friday, Jen, I will be popping up on Tuesday. Like I say, only for an hour. You know, if Heather wants to join in on that one rather than just be in the background, she can join in on a computer upstairs, and we'll do a joint one that way. Pardon me. Yeah, I always said I'd want some, you know, everybody has Free Bird by Skinner or Highway to Hell.
You wanted that for the wedding?
Yeah. Highway to Hell for the wedding. Absolutely. Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash. Yeah. Yeah. Good one, Gordo. Can you remember what was on the B side of that? The single, Ring of Fire? I can. My memory's not that bad long term. The B side of Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire, was Mean Eyed Cat. Which I don't believe was on any of his albums either. How the fuck did I remember that? God knows.
Well, I'm betting nobody can be asked to Google it and check.
I'm sure you will.
Can't be asked.
I remember it because I had the single. Yeah, that's another good one, Gary. The Strange World of James Arthur Brown. And that was a video that never nearly happened after he had a bit of an issue. One of his orderlies, shall I say, when they were making the video, put too much fuel in the little tray that he had on top. And when he moved his head, the obvious happened. They had to reshoot it. Yeah, I never liked the Prodigy, Gordo. I always used to call that one, I Am the Twisted Bus Conductor. And Keith, what's his face, was shit at racing cars as well. Comfortably Numb, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I certainly wouldn't have any disco, Jen. God almighty. No, thank you. Although I used to do mobile discos back in the day, but that was only because I earned money or beer at it. Yeah. There's a couple of good selections, JW. Let's not get morbid, please. Yeah, it's Christmas, Stuart, isn't it? Oh, did you hear they're actually not having the nativity or Christmas celebrations other than in the church? Would you believe in Bethlehem this year? Right, let's go back to that one, see how long it lasts this time. And Ding Dong the Witches. Yeah, you have the most equipment to build. Yeah. I've still got all my tools out there, James. As you know, there was no shortage of them. The only one I gave away, well, two, was one of half a dozen cordless drills and a chop saw, which I gave to Heather's brother because he'll get use out of them. I don't go to church on Christmas, Franco, Gary. I've only ever been once for a Christmas service, and we got thrown out the church at that one because we just happened to have to pass it on the way home from the pub. And on the Christmas Eve, we stumbled into the church. My mate complained that the wine wasn't good enough. And I can't remember doing it, but apparently there was a load of us started singing while the vicar was actually giving the mass. So we were politely asked to leave. But we did chuck a few quid in the collection dish at the door on the way out as the way of an apology. Yeah, I mean, I was only told about a lot of what we did, Gary, to be honest. I kind of remember going up the path to the church, but that was back in the days when I used to think nothing of drinking the best part of a bottle of JD after a few pints.
Yeah, but only Roger and his pals would think it was a good idea.
Well, yeah.
And having met most of them, yeah. Wouldn't that be funny? No. Yeah, it would.
I used to have a lot of issues coming home from the pub back in the day. I mean, the local pub in the village where I used to live back home. It used to be quite an easy trip back home because there was a big stone wall, went right the way through the village. And this wall was about 8 foot tall. And I used to follow the wall. And there was half a dozen gateways along it, but only one of them had a big double gate. Well, I knew if I turned direct right at that double gate, I was in the street where I lived, which was absolutely fine until the bastards moved the gate and built it over, blocked it up. The first weekend after that, I ended up 1.5 miles up the road outside the fucking village because I hadn't come upon the gate. So I just laid down and kept where I was. And walking back in the morning, that was when I realised my mistake. You're coming up with that one, Gordo. Have you seen the video on, I think it was on Facebook, might have been on YouTube as well, about when the Jehovah's Witnesses came knocking at the door? He rang the doorbell and it was one of these ring things. And you could hear the male voice in the background, yes, who is it? And he said, who is it? And they said it was either Jehovah's Witnesses or one of them sects anyway. And he just said, can you go away and come back later? I'm having a wank at the moment. To which the guy that was ringing the doorbell just said, okay, good man, carry on, and walked off. Oh, you're on a phone, are you, Gary? Yeah, that probably doesn't help with YouTube, to be honest. A lot of people have issues. I mean, my phone won't connect to YouTube. It won't even download the fucking app.
We know you're not spamming deliberately, mate. Don't worry. We all have issues occasionally.
Good night, Gary. Take it easy, buddy. If I don't speak to you before, have a good Christmas. And obviously, be as safe as you can, buddy. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube won't download onto my phone. It should do, but it doesn't. I mean, I could have asked for a new phone for Christmas, but
You could. I offered to get you one.
you know, just so I can, because I've got enough subscribers to go live from outside the house now. But that would mean having a contract and a card where I can get Wi-Fi. And I don't use my phones on Wi-Fi. The Android version. It is an Android phone, James. I mean, every time I've tried to do it, because it's the channel phone that connects to the Wi-Fi, my own one don't. It just goes round in a circle. It says, you know, re-upload the app. Press here, you do that, it goes round the loop again, and it just comes back as re-upload the app, re-upload the app.
The phone's too old, Palm.
I mean, it's an S5. I mean, it's probably the best part of 15 years old, you know. Same as my other one. I haven't had a new phone for donkey's years.
The basic operating system, whatever they call it, is too old for the YouTube app.
See, she understands these things. I don't.
So does Palm.
Oh, I know James does. Yeah, trusted with it. Yeah, that could be an issue, Gordo. Oh, my live stream sat here are bad enough. Can you imagine me doing one walking up through the town or something? Oh my God, I'd get in all sorts of trouble.
Well, you wouldn't have a new phone.
Oh no, it'd be
because
a second
my
hand
new
one.
phone is over 12 months old. It's 2023 tech.
Earliest version that can be used on Android is Android 1. No. Well, it certainly won't take it here, James, to be honest. I mean, it's in... I've got YouTube in the apps. Or have I? Yeah. And I've got notifications on it. But as you can see there, it says update your app. So I'll click on update. And the little blue circle goes round and round and round and round. And then we've got YouTube open or uninstall. So I'll press open and it goes back to update your app again. And it just goes round and round in circles. Oh, that's nice of YouTube to tell me that I'm now live. Yeah, after an hour and 20 minutes of being so.
So I've had a couple of notifications, so it likes me.
Uninstall everything. Yeah, we tried that, Gary.
The problem is, it's like trying to go straight to Windows 11 from Windows 7. It needs a couple of in-between steps and they're not available.
From Windows 7?
What?
You said from Windows 7 to 11.
Yes. You need to go through some halfway stages and they're not available for YouTube on your phone. You're trying to go from a 2008 version to 2024. The gap is too big. It won't do it.
Try uninstalling and then do a fresh install.
Can't uninstall it.
It won't even uninstall it, Gordo. Which tells me it's not. It's showing as on there, but it's not actually on there.
It's the default apps on there. that come with the phone and everything else, and you can't uninstall it.
Well, that one was supposed to be an updated version, wasn't it? The phone, when I bought it, it was supposed to have more on it than the other one. Which
Okay,
is the
I'll
same
have a
one.
look.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
was in the advert, you know. But there again, what do you expect for a 30 quid phone, you know? The only thing that was good, it was open to any networks. But I'm useless with tech like that. I'm getting better with the desktop when I do have a few issues there. I have learned how to sort them out and what have you, but and I'm not frightened of pressing buttons anymore. Make sure you use it.
Like I said, James, it's too old.
Yeah, exactly, James. But it's no different to the one I've already got. You know, they're both S5s. But you don't know what's happened with them in the past. You know, I've looked at ways of checking if there's spyware on it and shit like that. And trackers. Followed the usual steps to turn any tracking apps off. But I can't find any on there. Other than the actual Samsung one, I think it was, or Google, which I turned off anyway. I do that on both my phones. The only way they can track me with either of those is by tower pinging, which isn't anywhere near as accurate as when you're on Wi-Fi. I don't have my GPS turned on them either. In fact, I disabled the GPS on both of them. So, but I do the same on the desktop. You know, anything that comes up where we need to know your location, press it, and no, fuck off. And the other thing I don't do is click on links. Some of you have probably noticed it, tried in the past. Even the YouTube channel won't accept links. That is because there's a lot of it going out there now. Who is it? Had their channel absolutely fucking destroyed by clicking on a link. That Preston journalist, he had to start a brand new channel. Someone had sent him a link and he clicked onto it, and it absolutely mullered his channel to the point where he couldn't clean it up, couldn't get rid of it all. I mean, that's the joys of the internet, isn't it? Get a de-googled phone. Yeah, apparently they are out there, Gary. There are phones out there that literally bypass area. You don't even need a SIM card in them. But like I say, the other one, all that does is accept texts and phone calls. The channel one, unless we're on holiday and I'm filming the fishing, that as soon as it goes out the house, the Wi-Fi is disconnected. Another storm rolled in. Well, they said it was going to be a little bit milder this week, Gary, for the rest of the week, according to all the weather maps I've seen. But
they're now saying we won't have snow at Christmas.
Yeah, they did say that originally. It was all
a bit of snow from Christmas to New Year.
We were going to have a white Christmas, but they changed that.
Now everybody's put the big money on the bets.
Well, to be honest, Gary, I mean, I've never seen it this dull and grey, literally every day for so long. I've never seen a period like this. There's always been one or two bright days in between. The only days we've had that's quite bright here, by lunchtime, it's back to being grey again. You see the old white lines start appearing, and Yeah, I mean, Sligo used to, Stuart. I mean, it's, well exposed to the west coast. You don't get much further out onto the Atlantic than you do over there. And it was always wet. It was always windy. Yeah, Bailey, caused by global warming. Yeah, but if global warming was actually global warming, I'd be fine. I don't mind it too warm. Yeah, I mean, over the years, I've seen the seasons change. I mean, as a kid, we would have snow every year for Christmas, usually before and beyond as well. But you just don't get that now. The weather has shifted. I know the magnetic axis of the globe is changing. It changes every year. It actually moves true north. There is a tracker up in the Arctic way somewhere that it actually moves by nearly 2 meters every year, believe it or not. True north, magnetic north, sorry. Your compass never shows you true north. You can only do that with the stars. But there again, if the Earth is slightly tilting on its axis, as they say, then that would make true north unviable, wouldn't it? Because you're looking at the stars from a different angle. I do look at these things. Strange, I know, but
the difference isn't big enough that you would notice.
No, you wouldn't notice it if you were even navigating by it. And satellite navigation compensates for it every year as well. So yes, sure. Yes, it has, James. The actual Earth has gone through the global warming phase many times through history. Way before our history, obviously. But yes, it does have different cycles that it goes through. And we're getting to that point in it. There is a name for it. I can't remember what it is. But we're actually getting to that bit of the cycle now where things do change. You start getting big storms. You start getting the global warming. North Star is a lying bastard.
But we've been getting progressively warmer ever since the last ice age.
Yep. And then eventually it will get that bad, and then it will reverse and slip back into another ice age. The historians and scientists have always said that.
But we were taught the shit before they started trying to cover up.
Yeah, as Heather said, we were taught this shit at school. They don't teach it now. A bit like history, geography. Schools are just a place of indoctrination now. They're not a place of education anymore. There's only two type of kids that come out of schools now. Are those that learn by themselves or feral. Yeah, see, that's another thing, Stuart. At school, we were taught to read maps. We did that in geography lessons. And these are the sort of things that people have lost over the years because they're too reliant on technology. Oh, we don't need to learn it. We've got a machine that does it. I mean, look how the language has changed. People just use letters for a lot of words now rather than saying or writing the word. It's ridiculous. And texting and emojis. It's, to me, when you get a text from a youngster nowadays, it looks like a screen full of fucking hieroglyphics. And, as I've told people before, if you're going to text me, use words. I said, because if it comes in full of them fucking silly little abbreviations, I don't even entertain it. I don't bother looking at it. I just dismiss it. Yeah, it's my age more than anything, but we were taught to communicate properly back in the day.
Everything at work is 3 initials.
Yeah.
I hate it. This system is ABC, this one's BCD, this one's FGO, and I'm like, off. And you expect me to remember all that shit?
I mean, sure or no, the armed forces, that they've been using that sort of thing for donkey's years. But that is mainly to make it ease of communication on the battlefield, whatever. But it never used to get used in public. The public never used it. I'll tell you what, James, I wouldn't know where I was with the shit they're teaching now and how they teach it. Jump off garage roofs, Gary. Fucking hell, we used to jump across the gaps between the lines of them on bikes.
You invented parkour, did you, babe?
No, on mountain bikes. Normal bikes before the mountain bikes even came along.
You're telling me you didn't do it without the bikes?
Oh, yeah, we did. But
so you invented parkour?
You get an alleyway between the rows of garages. Could be anything between 4 foot and 6 foot. Oh, fuck it. Build a ramp. Away you go. You used to get told off for falling and hurting myself. I used to get told to slap round the head and told to fuck off. Don't do it again. If I was lucky and seriously hurt, might get a plaster on it. But that's how you learnt back then. There was none of this rolling on the ground, oh, I've broken my leg, when you just had a little graze, You didn't need time off school for it. Not like they do now. We used to catch the flu and a cold. Yeah, go to school. Make sure you give it to everybody else so it goes through the school quicker. Yeah, it did make radio comms a lot easier, Stuart, I will admit. And
oh yeah, that's why they do it, Stuart. I totally understand that. But why the hell they can't go, let's call it this, let's call it that. It's like calling Windows WOS because it's a Windows operating system. For fuck's sake, give it a decent name and you won't have to initialise it.
Measles parties, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Well, we even used to get the teachers say it, Gary. If you had a sniffle in school, it weren't, oh, go home. It was, make sure you give it to everybody else. You all have it at the same time. Then we ain't got to worry about it. It gets rid of it quicker.
The teacher gets a fortnight off.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of companies. like the engineers had their own versions and what have you. You know, they meant different things to different companies. Yeah, bet you can't remember using a chalkboard on your desk though, Gary, can you? I can. You know, there were books, there were pens and pencils, but we used to have one or two of the old school teachers used to put well, it wasn't slate. It was a painted tablet on your desk with a stick of chalk.
Oh, there was chicken pox parties, there was measles parties, you name it. Everything had to get passed around because you had to catch it.
Only 100 lines, Gary. Fucking hell. You got off lightly, mate, compared to what I used to get.
I didn't need to practice my writing that much. I was good.
Well, I'll tell you what, James, you're not the only one, mate. Now, when I first started doing my YouTube videos, I don't care if I blaspheme, Gary. I'll call you Jehovah. I haven't got an issue with that. Somebody said, type your notes on as an email, whatever, or a screenshot, and have that up in front of you as you're doing your videos. I still prefer to handwrite my notes. And handwriting today seems to be a lost art. But I will admit the amount of times I've had to ask Heather how you spell things, because I am slightly dyslexic. But yeah, I still prefer the written note. You know, if I want to send somebody a card, I'll go and buy a card. I'll write it out. I won't do these moonpig shit and stuff like that. You know, that's...
You won't buy anything online, though.
No, I don't. I always had a phobia of computers. I just didn't like them. I didn't like what they represented. So I never bothered to use one. Never bothered to learn one. You know, that some of them, the older versions, have been around since just after my youth. I had the opportunity to. But I wasn't interested. But it got to a stage in later years where people used to tell me, and I understood why, that it is going to be the only form of communication, the only form of getting stuff done. And that is why when I signed on a few years ago, I couldn't sign on every week because I didn't know how to use a computer. So they sent me on a course. I did know how to use the page. I used to watch YouTube and I used to buy stuff on eBay. But that was about it. So they sent me to college to learn how to use Office and stuff like that. And slowly I picked it up. And from then on, Heather took over the tutoring, basically.
But why? We set you up with an email, didn't we?
That was funny as fuck.
So we set him up with an email address. And, oh God, it's got to be a good couple of months, if not 6 months later. It's like, this email's a waste of time. I haven't received anything. So I just said, how many people have you given the address to?
None. Yeah.
He wasn't receiving any emails because nobody knew his fucking address.
Yeah, that was amazing. And it did give, well, it gave the whole family a fucking laugh, to be honest.
Well, come on, we're still laughing about it now.
Yeah. It's, yeah, that was a bit of an issue.
he tried to close it down and he'd still got a document open. And it was nicely telling him, if you carry on and close this, you might lose what you were working on. So he went into a hissy fit and said, "Don't you tell me I can't shut you down," and unplugged it.
The computer used to tell me things and I used to argue like fuck, and when it got the better of me, I'll just unplug it. Fuck you. Don't tell me you can't turn me off. And the amount of times I nearly launched laptops out the window because it wouldn't do what I wanted it to do.
But you have calmed down a bit now.
Yeah, I'm not frightened of pressing buttons. I know I can go back and redo something.
And you've learned to wait.
Yeah, it has taught me a bit more patience.
Clicking on the mouse, click, 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 click. I thought this was instant. And I'm like, right, well, it's now going to take it 20 minutes to catch up with you. And so, no, it's not going to be instant.
I mean, I can't remember what it was now. There was one, Heather said, "Oh, click on it and it will come up." So 20 minutes later, I'm still sat there and there's fucking stuff everywhere. And she said, "How many times did you click on it?" I said, "Well, I just kept clicking until it worked." And of course, the computer had a fucking issy fit because I was trying to open probably 50, 60 fucking things.
Internet browsers. Not just a bit of software, not just a document. No. Google tabs. Google tabs by the dozen. And then he moans his computer's getting slow.
I mean, many a day she'd come home from work and I'd just be sat here. So what's up? I said, "It's broke. It won't do anything." She'd just walk up and press a button and it's, "Oh, look, it's fine now." I didn't know.
It was things like pressing escape. The one day he managed to drag his toolbar from the bottom of the screen to the side of the screen.
What the fuck are all these things?
So he's got the toolbar down the side and he can't cope because the toolbar's down the side now, not along the bottom. And he just went, "I need it fixing." So I picked it up and dragged it back and he went, "How the fuck did you do that?"
The other one was the toolbar went missing, wasn't it? Because I'd inadvertently clicked hide toolbar.
Yes.
I didn't know where it had gone. Well, I can't use my computer because I can't fucking see anything on there to click on.
If it's not on the toolbar, he cannot find it or use it. So everything has to be pinged to the taskbar because he can't search in the program list, even if he knows what he's looking for.
Yeah, it was.
And this is a guy that now knows how to use a computer.
Yeah. But yeah, there was several of the old laptops very close to getting launched out the fucking window. But as I say, I realised that I had to learn. And it was going to be a necessity to get through the rest of the life. And what better than having someone that knows how to use them perfectly because she's been using them all through her life. So, you know, that's why I used to call her my little tech support. But, you know, most things, if I'm at home now and she's out, most things I can cope with and fix before she gets home. I don't need to wait. I haven't managed to delete anything, as far as I know anyway, not unless I was doing it deliberately. I mean, it was only about a month ago that my computer started to slow down a little bit. So they said, "Oh, have you had a clean-up?" Well, yeah, I pressed the cleaner. She said, "No, you know, like empty your recycle bin and stuff like that." Well, how the fuck do you do that?
Where is the
Yeah,
recycle?
where is the recycle bin was the first one, wasn't it? Have you thought about looking to see in your spam mail? Yeah, there's fucking loads of them in there, you know. I have got a laptop as well, James, but it's been upgraded, but it is still very slow. I do take it away on holiday with me, so I can edit up any fishing videos I've made, post the odd video just to give people an update. What the fuck is one of them, Gary? An Optiplex? Do you know what one of them is?
No,
No.
not a clue.
But since I've had this big one down here, and I'm talking about computers, by the way, when I'm pointing down towards the floor, I've been getting on all right with it.
It's just a brand of Dell.
You know, at the moment, my biggest worry, Heather's put me mind at ease on it, was obviously next October that Windows 10 isn't going to be supported anymore. And this computer will not accept Windows 11. Neither will my laptop. It won't support it. So I started looking at some of these videos where they tell you, yes, you can upload or download, whatever it is, Windows 11 onto a computer that doesn't have the hardware to support it. But as Heather said, and I've realised that
Windows 11 is crap.
Yeah, well, I've always known Windows 11s is crap. So many people have told me. But Windows 10 will carry on after October, and I'll still be able to use it because apparently some of these issues are the same for. Good evening, Craig. I was going to be winding down soon, as usual. You've come in at the end. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But Heather's son's partner, she works with computers. She is a problem solver with computers. And even she said, stay as far away from Windows 11 as you can. It's an absolute nightmare. Some of the issues they've got with it, they can't come up with reasonable fixes for them. And yeah, even businesses are having issues with it. So yeah, I work as long as I can stay on Windows 10, Gary. I mean, that's hard enough for me because they do that many updates and things change on how you go about things on it. And I don't like change because it takes me too long now to learn the new things. What's it like down the way of the Cornish down there now, Craig? Much happening down there? I have actually still got a couple of Windows 7 laptops upstairs, Gary. I did have another one. I gave it away to a subscriber who, this was a while back, who just wanted to watch on YouTube, basically. So I wiped everything off and sent that up to him.
You did you?
Well, you did. Thank you for the correction. Nipples like chapel hat pegs. Is that cold, is it? It's not that cold here at the moment. It's a bit chilly when it's windy with the wind chill. The biggest problem here is the dampness. The air's just damp all the time with the rain. balls clinging to your ass like lumpets. I cure monkeys outside the welders every morning. Now, that is real weird because it never used to get that cold down there when I was down there.
Global warming.
I mean, yeah. I mean, fuck me, I used to remember walking around in flip-flops on Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. You know? I mean, I only saw snow down there, I think, was twice. Yeah, you used to get it up on the moors and that, but down the south there, you never used to. You never used to get it.
Yeah, my brother always went on about using Linux and Ubuntu, but I stick with Windows. I know where I'm going.
He was going to drop a Dougal in for me, wasn't he? Because her brothers, well, and his missus are
What sort of Dougal did you want?
one that connects to like the telly and things.
Oh, you want a Wi-Fi dongle?
That's it, a Dougal.
I've got one upstairs.
Oh, okay.
It's not a Dougal. It's like that. I've got a Bluetooth dongle there.
But I don't want Bluetooth.
No, I know. Which is why I said what did you want it?
See, this is where I get lost. I mean, I've got to find the time. I've got one of the old Windows 7 laptops upstairs. It's got all the mountain biking videos from, Helmet Cam and that on them. That was one of the only reasons I've kept them, is because those videos are on there. I must get them down and start putting them on these external hard drives that I've got, because there's some on there I don't want to lose. They're from the early days of downhill racing, and I believe a lot of them, if I remember rightly, have got clips of crashes on them. And it was usually me in the frame because my mate was the first one with a camera and I was faster than him, so he was always following me. Bluetooth is through Windows. You've lost me, James.
I'm not denying that Ubuntu and Linux are far superior operating systems. The problem is I haven't used them, so I don't know how to. So any sort of issue, and I'm stuck. But at least with the Windows issue, I know how to sort it and how to fix it, and set up my monitors and change the settings and check your microphones at the right level. I haven't once I looked at an Ubuntu Linux machine, and no, I can't remember which one it was. No, I did not like it. Did not like it.
The problem with me, Gary, is
yes,
now
definitely.
With the short-term memory shit and what have you. I've always learnt by watching people do it. The way I learnt how to use most of what I've got in front of me now was watching Heather and how she did it. Now, even typing, I still have to look at the keyboard because I can't just do it blind while I'm looking elsewhere. I have to look at what I'm typing at. Yeah, I'm not slow at typing, but I'm not exactly fast either.
But when you consider I started on Windows 3 or 3.1, I've been using it for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, my first laptop was Windows 7, wasn't it? That one I bought off.
Exactly.
What's the name at work?
Exactly.
Second-hand one.
And I started on version 3 or 3.1.
No, I'm quite chuffed with myself with what I have learned. There is still a lot more that I could learn to do. I mean, I was terrible at editing. But now, you know, I can go in there, I can make masks, I can manipulate pictures. I won't have AI. I don't like AI. I think it's a dangerous thing. But very dangerous, in fact. But it's the fact of life that AI is coming in. It is being used. The worrying thing is that it can learn for itself. Now, that to me is very worrying. You know?
Well, you've seen too many Terminator films, haven't you?
Well, yeah, Skynet. And that's the way it's going. Computers are learning, and they will. You know, they're already taking things over. You just press a button, let the computer go, and do it all by itself. I don't like that idea. It terrifies me. It really does. You know, it's great. You know, things like pictures. I mean, you think about it now. There's a lot of channels out there, and I actually click off them. I dismiss them and block them from my feed, where people just tell the AI what they want it to do, like the story or the news, and the computer does it all, and then they put it up as a video. And, you know, some of these channels are earning big money from doing that. I think, well, you're not actually doing anything to earn that money. And most of the shit is a week old that they're putting up on the news front. You know, they're just picking people's videos and telling the computer to rearrange the words but tell the same story. And then they post it. You know, there's no person there, as it were. There is one, unfortunately, he did do a video that said a lot of these channels started because he was doing it. I did think he was just an AI channel, but then he started doing a few live streams to prove that he was a bloke. I think he's at British Stand, something like that. And yeah, a lot of people copied him and used the programs that he was using because people were saying, what do you use? And of course he was telling them. So he did a video apologising for the glut of them that are out there. So I mean, even on Facebook, people keep posting pictures and their feed of, you know, nothing but an AI picture. Yeah, if there's a message alongside it, some people put up a picture like with good morning or good night, and they'll put their own bit across the top. That's fine. I'll react to them if they're on my friends list. But if it's just a picture, that's it. I don't even give it a reaction. And that's the thing, Scar. That's what worries me. Eventually, the human will be eliminated from it. And the computers, as Heather rightly said, like in the Terminator video, or what was it, War Games, the computers will just start talking to each other because they're given free range, and it'll eliminate human input altogether.
As long as they get rid of Putin, don't
and then you get to the Skynet scenario, and then we're all doomed. Right, I am going to call that it, guys. It is 9 o'clock. I said I'd keep going for a couple of hours. Yeah, Gary, what was it? Wampa, wasn't it? The computer was called. Christ, that's some years ago now. But, you know, that I'm not joking. That does illustrate. You know, you think that was back then. You think how computers have improved since then. It is entirely plausible. That could happen. You know, yes, Skynet is a bit different. You know, the computer's not going to walk out the room, build a fucking factory and start building machines on its own. That's an impossibility. That needs human input. You know, need more input. What was that? Johnny Five, wasn't it? Short Circuit. But anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. As I say, Heather may do a live on Friday. It depends on how she's feeling.
Depends on whether I need to go shopping.
I will definitely do a quick one, even if it's only half an hour or an hour Christmas Eve, because obviously Christmas Day is on a Wednesday. So, and I certainly won't be doing one Christmas Day. But everybody, don't forget, next year, most of the lives are going to be private. They will be invite only. Those of you that are regulars that I trust and know, we will find a way of sorting it out where I can get the links to you from them. I'm not having you good people that have supported me all this time sitting in the sidelines wondering what's going on. Need to raffle me out. This is a new one, Gary, to be honest. I've had one for quite a few years. It had "Have I Been Naughty" written on it with a Sharpie. But every year I dug it out and used it. And this year, before I could even get it on my head, Heather decided, you're not having that, and it went in the bin. So, but she did replace it with a new one for me. And this one does fit a bit better, actually. But anyway, guys, we'll call that it. Thank you very much for dropping in and being respectful, as always. Absolutely brilliant. One of the most respectful live streams on YouTube, as far as I know. I wouldn't know because I don't go on any of the others.
But that's because you've got the best.
If you can't be on Tuesday or Friday, if Heather does do one, have yourselves a wonderful Christmas, or as good as you can make it. I know it won't be that clever for some people. Some people are struggling, but make what you can of it. And be wary, it could be the last Christmas with the way things are going. So with that, I will say Merry Christmas to everybody if I don't see you before. And no matter what you're doing, as always, stay safe, stay strong, and stay free. So it's good night from me.
And good night from me. Catch you all again soon. Merry Christmas.
Take care, people. Be safe out there and have a good one.